Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about something very important. Things you should never do in a rush. Because one moment of impatience can create years of regret. Most people don't make mistakes because they are bad. They make mistakes because they are in a hurry. They rush decisions. They rush emotions. They rush relationships. And later, they regret. But here is the truth. Not everything in life should be fast. Some things need time. Some things need patience. Some things need understanding. In this video, we are going to learn 6 things you should never do in a rush if you want to protect your peace, your future, and your life. So watch this video till the end, because this can save you from big mistakes. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Never fall in love in a rush. The first thing you should never do in a rush is fall in love. Because love is not just a feeling. It is a decision that can change your entire life. Now understand this clearly. Feelings can come quickly. You meet someone. You feel a connection. You feel excitement. You feel understood. And suddenly, you start believing, this is love. But this is not always love. This is emotion. And emotions are fast. But love is slow. Now let's go deeper. In the beginning of any connection, everything feels perfect. You see only the good side. You focus on similarities. You ignore differences. Your mind creates an image of who that person is, and you start believing that image. But that image is not reality. It is imagination. Now imagine this. You rush into love. You trust quickly. You attach deeply. You invest emotionally. You start depending on that person for your happiness. And for some time, everything feels amazing. But slowly, reality appears. You start seeing things you didn't notice before. Different habits, different values, different thinking. And now, you feel confused because the person you imagined is not the same as the person in front of you. Now what happens? You feel hurt. Not because love is wrong, but because it was rushed. Now here is something very important. Real love is not built on speed. It is built on understanding. It needs time. Time to see how a person behaves. Time to see how they handle problems. Time to see their true nature. Because anyone can look perfect for a short time, but no one can hide their real self forever. Now imagine the opposite. You take your time. You don't rush your emotions. You observe. You understand. You ask yourself, is this person right for me? Do our values match? Can we grow together? Now what happens? Your decision becomes stronger because now it is not just emotion. It is clarity. Now here is the powerful shift. Don't fall in love with how someone makes you feel in the beginning. Understand who they truly are over time, because feelings can be misleading, but character is real. Now let's go even deeper. When you rush into love, you often ignore red flags. You see signs, but you choose to ignore them. Why? Because you don't want to lose the feeling. You don't want to lose the excitement. But later, those same signs become problems, and now you cannot ignore them. Now imagine this. You slow down. You pay attention. You don't ignore warning signs. What happens? You protect yourself. Now here is something very powerful. Love should bring peace, not confusion. Love should feel stable, not rushed. Love should grow, not explode. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. Don't rush love, because the right connection will grow with time, not speed. So, from today, don't let emotions control your decisions. Don't fall in love just because it feels good in the moment. Don't confuse attraction with real connection. Take your time. Understand deeply. Choose wisely. Because love is not something you should hurry. It is something you should build slowly. This is the first lesson. Never fall in love in a rush, or you may fall into regret instead of peace. Lesson 2. Never give away your trust in a rush. The second thing you should never do in a rush is give away your trust. Because trust is not something small. It is one of the most valuable things you have. And once it is broken, it changes you. Now understand this clearly. Trust is built slowly, but it can be broken instantly. And the pain of broken trust is not easy to forget. Now let's go deeper. Many people trust too quickly. They meet someone new. They feel comfortable. They feel understood. And suddenly, they open up. They share their secrets. They share their thoughts. They share their personal life. Why? Because they feel a connection. But connection in the beginning is not always real. Sometimes it is just comfort. Sometimes it is just emotion. Sometimes it is just illusion. Now imagine this. You trust someone quickly. You believe them. You depend on them. You share everything. But later, they change. They don't respect your trust. They use your words against you. They hurt you in ways you didn't expect. Now what happens? You feel betrayed. You feel broken. And the worst part, you start doubting yourself. Now here's something very important. The pain is not only because they hurt you. The pain is because you trusted them. And that is why trust should never be rushed. Now imagine the opposite. You take your time. You don't trust immediately. You observe. You watch their behavior. You see how they act with others. You notice if their words match their actions. Slowly, you build trust, step by step. Now what happens? Your trust becomes strong because it is based on truth, not just feelings. Now here is the powerful shift. Don't trust what people say. Trust what they consistently do. Because words are easy, but actions reveal reality. Now let's go even deeper. Time reveals everything. In the beginning, people show their best version. They are kind. They are polite. They are perfect. But with time, their real nature appears. Their habits appear. Their behavior becomes natural. And only then, you truly see who they are. Now imagine this. You give trust slowly. You don't rush. You allow time to reveal truth. What happens? You protect your heart. Now here is something very powerful. Not everyone deserves your full trust. And that is okay. Trust is not something you owe to everyone. It is something people earn. Now imagine this. You don't share everything immediately. You don't open up too fast. You keep some boundaries. What happens? You stay safe. You stay in control. Now here is something very important. Trust is like a glass. Once it breaks, even if you fix it, the cracks remain. That is why you must be careful. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. Trust slowly. Because once broken, it is never the same again. So from today, don't trust too quickly. Don't open up too fast. Don't believe everything you hear. Observe. Take your time. Because the right people will prove themselves, and the wrong people will reveal themselves. And when you trust wisely, you protect your peace. This is the second lesson. Never give away your trust in a rush, because your peace is too valuable to risk. Lesson 3. Never judge someone's character in a rush. The third thing you should never do in a rush is judge someone's character. Because people are not simple. They are layered. What you see in one moment is not the full truth of who they are. Now understand this clearly. You cannot understand a person in one meeting, in one conversation, or in one situation. Yet most people do exactly that. They see one behavior, and they create a full judgment. Now let's go deeper. Imagine this. You meet someone for the first time. They are quiet, and you think they are rude, or they are confident, and you think they are arrogant. But that is not truth. That is assumption. Now imagine another situation. Someone is having a bad day. They are stressed, they are tired, they are not in a good mood. And in that moment, they behave differently. Now you judge them based on that one moment. What happens? You misunderstand them completely. Now here is something very important. A single moment cannot define a person's character, because character is revealed over time, not in one situation. Now imagine this. Instead of judging quickly, you observe. You watch how they behave in different situations, how they act when things are good, and how they act when things are difficult. Now what happens? You understand them more deeply. Now your judgment is based on reality, not assumptions. Now here is the powerful shift. Don't label people quickly, because labels limit your understanding. Once you label someone, you stop seeing them clearly. You only see what you want to see. Now let's go even deeper. Quick judgment often comes from your own mindset, your past experiences, your beliefs, your expectations. And because of that, you project your thoughts onto others. But that is not fair, because you are not seeing them as they are. You are seeing them through your own filter. Now imagine this. You remove judgment. You stay open. You give people time. What happens? You start seeing the truth. Now here is something very powerful. Some people who look good in the beginning may not be good over time. And some people who don't impress you at first may turn out to be amazing. But you will never know if you judge too quickly. Now imagine this. You meet someone. Instead of deciding immediately, you stay neutral. You observe their actions. You listen carefully. You give time, slowly. Their real nature reveals itself. Now your understanding is real. Now here is something very important. Judging quickly can damage relationships, because you may push away good people just because of a wrong assumption. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. Don't judge a person by one moment. Understand them over time. So from today, stop making quick judgments. Stop labeling people too fast. Stop assuming without understanding. Give time. Observe. Because people reveal who they truly are, only with time. And when you understand people correctly, you make better decisions in life. This is the third lesson. Never judge someone's character in a rush, because truth needs time to appear. Lesson 4. Never make big decisions in a rush. The fourth thing you should never do in a rush is make big decisions, because decisions shape your life, and one wrong decision can create long-term regret. Now understand this clearly. When you are in a rush, you are not thinking clearly. Your mind is influenced by emotions. You feel pressure. You want quick results. And in that state, you don't see the full picture. Now let's go deeper. Imagine this. You are angry. Someone says something, and you react immediately. You make a decision. Maybe you say something harsh. Maybe you break a relationship. Maybe you take a step you cannot undo. But later, when your anger is gone, you realize you made a mistake. Now imagine another situation. You are very excited. Something feels amazing. You feel happy. You feel confident. And you make a quick decision. But later, you see things differently. And now, you regret. Now here is something very important. Emotions are temporary, but decisions can be permanent. That is why you must never mix the two. Now imagine the opposite. You pause. You don't react immediately. You take time. You think. You analyze. You understand the situation. Now what happens? Your decision becomes stronger because it is based on clarity, not emotion. Now here is the powerful shift. Delay your decisions, not your actions. Because when you delay decisions, you give yourself time to think. Now let's go even deeper. Big decisions require perspective. You need to ask yourself, what will happen in the future? How will this affect my life? Is this really the right choice? And these questions need time. Now imagine this. Instead of rushing, you step back. You observe the situation calmly. You remove emotions from the decision. Now what happens? You see things clearly. Now your decision is not reactive. It is thoughtful. Now here is something very powerful. Most regrets in life come from rushed decisions. People say things they don't mean. They choose paths they don't want. They make commitments they don't understand. And later, they feel stuck. Now imagine this. You don't rush. You take your time. You think deeply before deciding. What happens? You avoid regret. Now here is something very important. Silence helps in decision-making. When you are quiet, your mind becomes clear. And when your mind is clear, your decisions become better. Now let's talk about patience. Patience is not delay. It is wisdom. It means you are giving importance to your future, not just your current emotion. Now imagine this. You face a big decision. Instead of rushing, you wait. You observe. You think. You understand. And then you decide. At that point, your decision has power. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. Never make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. So, from today, don't decide in anger. Don't decide in excitement. Don't decide under pressure. Pause. Think. Because one calm decision can save you from many regrets. This is the fourth lesson. Never make big decisions in a rush, because your future depends on it. Lesson 5. Never eat your food in a rush. The fifth thing you should never do in a rush is eat your food. Now this may sound very simple, but it has a deep impact on your life, because how you eat affects how you feel. Now understand this clearly. Food is not just something you consume. It is something that nourishes your body and your mind. And when you rush this process, you lose its value. Now let's go deeper. Most people eat in a hurry. They are busy. They are distracted. They're doing something else. They eat while using their phone. They eat while watching something. They eat while thinking about work. Their body is eating, but their mind is somewhere else. Now imagine this. You eat fast. You don't chew properly. You don't taste your food. You don't even notice what you are eating. What happens? You don't feel satisfied. You feel full, but not fulfilled. Now here is something very important. When you eat in a rush, your body cannot process the food properly. Your digestion becomes weak. Your energy feels low. Your health slowly gets affected. Now imagine the opposite. You slow down. You sit peacefully. You focus on your food. You take your time. You chew properly. You taste every bite. You enjoy the moment. What happens? You feel satisfied. Your body feels better. Your mind feels calm. Now here is the powerful shift. Eating is not just a task, it is an experience. Now let's go even deeper. When you eat slowly, you become present. You are not thinking about the past. You are not worrying about the future. You are in the moment. And this brings peace. Now imagine this. You take a few minutes, just for yourself. You eat calmly. You enjoy your food. What happens? Your stress reduces because your mind gets a break. Now here is something very powerful. Happy people don't rush everything. They slow down for important things. And food is important because your health is your foundation. Now imagine this. Every day, you eat slowly, you respect your body, you give attention to what you consume. What happens? Your lifestyle improves, your energy improves, your mood improves. Now here is something very important. When you rush your food, you treat it like a burden. But when you eat slowly, you treat it like care, and your body responds to that care. Now let's talk about awareness. Slow eating creates awareness. You become conscious of what you eat. You understand your hunger. You feel when you are full. And this helps you live healthier. Now imagine this. You don't overeat. You don't eat unconsciously. You eat with awareness. At that point, your body feels balanced. Now here is something powerful. Taking time to eat is also a sign of self-respect. It shows that you value your health. It shows that you are not always rushing. You are living with awareness. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. Eat slowly, because your body deserves your time and attention. So from today, don't eat in a hurry. Don't eat while distracted. Don't treat food like a task. Slow down. Be present. Enjoy your food. Because when you respect what you eat, you respect your life. This is the fifth lesson. Never eat your food in a rush, because your health and peace depend on it. Lesson 6. Never think you know someone in a rush. The sixth and final thing you should never do in a rush is think that you truly know someone, because people are not simple. They are deep. They have layers. What they show and what they hide, what they say and what they feel. And you cannot understand all of this quickly. Now understand this clearly. Knowing a person takes time. Not days, not weeks, sometimes even years. Now let's go deeper. When you meet someone, you see their surface, their smile, their words, their behavior in that moment. And based on that, you create an image. You start believing, I know this person. They are like this. They are like that. But that is not truth. That is a first impression. And first impressions are not always real. Now imagine this. Someone is kind in the beginning. They are polite. They are caring. They are understanding. And you think, this is who they are. But later, you see a different side. Their behavior changes. Their attitude changes. Now what happens? You feel shocked. You feel confused. Because the image you created was not complete. Now here is something very important. People reveal themselves over time, not in the beginning. In the beginning, most people show their best version. They want to be liked. They want to be accepted. So they hide their flaws. But with time, their real nature appears. Their habits become visible. Their patterns become clear. And only then, you start understanding them. Now imagine the opposite. You don't rush your judgment. You don't assume quickly. You take your time. You observe. You see how they act in different situations, how they behave when things are good, and how they behave when things are difficult. Now what happens? You understand them deeply. Now your perception is real. Now here is the powerful shift. Don't believe everything you see in the beginning, because beginnings are often incomplete. Now let's go even deeper. A person's true character is revealed in pressure. How they act when they are angry. How they act when they are stressed. How they act when things don't go their way. That is where truth appears. Now imagine this. You give time. You observe patiently. Slowly, you see the real person. Now you don't feel surprised later, because you understood them properly. Now here is something very important. Thinking you know someone too quickly can lead to wrong decisions. You may trust too fast. You may depend too quickly. You may attach emotionally. And later, you feel hurt because your understanding was incomplete. Now imagine this. You take your time. You don't assume. You allow the person to reveal themselves. What happens? You protect your emotions. You protect your peace. Now here is something very powerful. Real understanding is not based on words. It is based on patterns. What someone does again and again. That is who they are. Not what they say once, not how they act for a short time, but what they repeat. Now imagine this. You observe patterns. You notice consistency. You see truth over time. At that point, you truly know the person. Now let me give you a powerful line to remember. You don't know a person in the beginning. You understand them through time and patterns. So from today, don't assume quickly. Don't trust first impressions completely. Don't believe you know someone too fast. Take your time. Observe. Because people reveal themselves slowly, and patience helps you see the truth. And when you understand people correctly, you make better choices in your life. This is the final lesson. Never think you know someone in a rush, because real understanding takes time. So these are the things you should never do in a rush, because the truth is simple. Rushing creates mistakes, and those mistakes can cost you your peace, your time, and your future. Life is not a race. Not everything needs to be fast. Some things need patience. Some things need understanding. Some things need time. If you slow down, you see clearly. You choose wisely. You live peacefully. If you learned something valuable from this video, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because we bring you powerful lessons that can transform your mindset and your life. And always remember, take your time in life. Because the right things grow slowly, but last longer. We will see you in the next video.